What's up, Juventus? Today we hear that the defense is the top priority for Giuntoli and Juventus in January's window. Not only that, but a name that was loosely linked with us is picking up serious steam. Yes, it's Milan Skriniar. Will Giuntoli strike in January for the player? We're going to go through the details of that one today. Cope Miners, his injury is confirmed. We'll go through the details. What does this mean for a timetable for Juventus and the full injury rundown? Italy, Belgium, Nations League action. How does this affect Juventus? Giuntoli will be there. Who are the names he's looking at, though? One of them is actually very, very familiar, and we're going to go through it all together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJCR channel dedicated to Juventus. It's October 10th. Let's rock with the news, and we are going to kick things off with the defense. The defense being called the top priority, and this kind of seems natural in the sense that we have lost Bremer for the entire season. Yes, the name that is picking up steam is Milan Skriniar, all right? So he is not happy with the lack of minutes he is getting at PSG. So far, he's only featured for around 111 minutes, all right, through all the games that they've appeared in. This leaves him unsettled, looking for a leave. He is on a very, very high salary. So what Fabrizio Romano reports is that the only way Juve, who is interested in the player, acts on this is if PSG is willing to take a chunk of that salary away from Juventus, okay? Now, in terms of this player, it is also critical to think about why maybe these minutes are down, not simply just in terms of form, in terms of the player, in terms of attitude, in terms of the other players that are on PSG's roster, but this past January, he had a dislocated ankle, which actually required a surgical procedure to repair. This, for footballers in general, is pretty nasty, especially for defenders. Now, keep in mind, Juve is only looking at this as a short-term solution. There would be no commitment beyond for Juve's end. Is this the best decision out of all the options we have available to us when we have some capable players that we could just simply recall from loans? Hey, I don't know. And if you're going to ask me personally what I feel about this certain individual, I'm just going to say no. And I'm still going to stick to my guns on bringing somebody else that we had previously back and recall them from loan. It is also a short-term solution. No further commitment from there. And we move. As far as seeing the defense as the priority, I understand Bremer's a massive loss. I don't think you cover for Bremer any way you go about this in January. You're not going to find a Bremer out there in January. So it is going to come down to one of these solutions for Juventus. Let's see what they do. But for me, stick to my guns. Recall one of the players from loan. I would just call Rugani and I would act on the attack. But right now, the latest report suggests that Motta says he is going to be just fine with what he has in the attack. Also factoring in the fact that Milik will not even be available at least until December. That one is actually wild to me. The attack needs bolstering in January, if you ask me. Okay, Cope Miners, the latest to fall victim to injury to Juventus, and today we get the confirmations that it is in fact a fractured rib. Now, the timetable, there is no timetable, all right? He is going to go through therapies and recovery, and only based on a day-to-day basis will we get some type of idea of when he could be back. This is the exact same scenario that we faced with Locatelli last season, okay? So he ended up losing only 13 days, 3 matches, Locatelli. But remember, he wore that crazy brace, body brace, and he dealt with the pain. And that's why it was only calculated as 2 weeks' time and 3 games missed, because he ended up coming back and kind of working through the pain and still playing through it. These injuries are nasty. Every individual is going to be different as far as their timetables, but Godspeed to Cope Miners, because he is going to be so crucial for Juventus, and we would have loved to have him in there for these key matchups after the break. Again, it's Lazio, it's Stuttgart in Champions League, and then Inter Milan. For Inter, that is the game apparently targeted by Nico Gonzalez for his return, because he is also on the injury shelf for Juventus. The list is as follows: Bremer, Milik, Milik, Adzic still suffering from a muscular injury, okay? Gonzalez, Co-Miners, and Conceição, of course, ban all of those players out for Juve Lazio, which is a big matchup on the back end of this international break. Speaking of international break, Italy, Belgium going down today in Nations League. We are expected to see Cambiaso to start, but Giuntoli will also be there, not just watching the Italian players, all right, but focusing on Belgium players, okay? There is a list of players he apparently has on his scouting list. The list is as follows, okay? You're going to have De Bast, Luca Bacchio, Face, and Openda, the one we are very familiar with, all right, as he put in a great shift in our Champions League match against Leipzig. He's already on 5 goals this season. He scored 28 last season, and the only issue around this potential move being listed by media outlets is the 42 million euro price tag, all right? But Giuntoli will be there actively scouting. The man never stops. As far as this game, Italy-Belgium, I actually think it's going to be a really good watch, and I think the Azzurri will just squeak one out. How do you think we do? I just want Cambiaso, if he starts, don't get hurt. Fagioli, if you make your way into this game, do not get hurt, okay? That's all I really care about at this point in time. But you guys know the drill. This is your news break. Like the video, subscribe, join our AJC army, but let me know what you think about all the news you heard here today. Is defense the top priority? Would you pull the trigger on Milan Skriniar, all right? Let me know what you think. Let's mix it up. I'm back tomorrow as always. Till then, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Ciao tutti.